I invite you all to take a moment to close your eyes and imagine with me. Imagine in this moment you're dying and your life is flashing by in front of you in a series of moments. What moments do you see? Happy moments? Maybe the first time you were off to school and your mother was holding your hand. Or perhaps the time you overcame one of your deepest, darkest fears. Or a deep, dark secret that you're going to bring with you all the way down to your grave. What are these moments? What do you see? You can open your eyes. Thank you for imagining with me. It's these moments that I seek. Your moments that are pivotal in your life that may seem ordinary to you, but are in fact extraordinary to me because I tell stories and I like to tell compelling stories. Stories that come from me, stories that come from you, stories that exist right underneath our skin. But first, if you allow me to share my story that has existed underneath my skin for many, many, many years, my childhood. Now, I was born into a completely liberal, open-minded, slightly bohemian family. I am the daughter of a zoologist father and a plant food specialist mother, very good-looking pair. And my brother and my brother's a documentary maker and part-time washing machine seller. Well, we spent a lot of time growing up, although very bohemian. We were also completely family orientated. We did family outings, family functions, family holidays. It was complete domestic bliss until one day, the atom that I call life as it is for Sharda exploded. And when an atom explodes, do you know what happens? It splits into neutrons and molecules and other atoms, and it grows at a very fast speed, and there's all this energy. So, when I was 9 years old, my parents separated, split up, and then got divorced. And so I felt like that neutron full of this energy, not really knowing which way to go. I mean, do I swim right? And who do I live with, mom or dad? Or swim left? Who do I spend Christmas with, mom or dad? So, a new chapter in my life was evolving, and a new character introduced herself, or himself. It was pain. Pain was growing underneath my skin. And as a 9-year-old girl, I was learning very fast how to mask that pain. Thank goodness I have a very sensitive and intuitive mother who knew something was a little off balance, and she decided to enroll me into drama classes. And drama classes, that was probably the best thing she could have ever done for me besides giving birth to me. I was able to, channel all these neutrons, anger and hate and frustration into acting and movement and singing. I cannot sing very well loud, but it was all there, and I felt so happy because theater subconsciously was transforming and empowering my life. They say children that come from divorced parents, they come from broken homes. But I didn't feel broken. No, I felt whole and complete and ready to fly because subconsciously I was infusing my real life, my real emotions into the characters that I played. So naturally I became a professional actress, and I've been acting professionally for 9 years. But I've been healing myself in this practice that I subconsciously do for 20 years now. It was only 3 years ago when I was sitting on the toilet bowl having a fag, completely healthy, where all my great ideas come from the toilet bowl, that I thought, if telling a pivotal story in your life that might be holding you back from being the 100% that you can be is actually a tool that perhaps can uncover pain because it works for me. If it sets me free, why can't it set everybody free? Why is this only limited to the artists like Yayoi Kusama? Why? And at that moment, I decided I want another explosion in my atoms, you know? I want to work with people. I want to work with everybody. But how? Where do I begin? What do I call this? Is this therapy? Is this storytelling? What is it? And then bang, as if God was listening at that moment, I receive a call from Jeffrey Tan, who is the creator of Open Homes, the very handsome man over there. And Open Homes is a concept that pairs theater facilitators together with homeowners, and together theater facilitators and these homeowners create a real life story on their lives in their homes, in their living rooms. And I thought, yes, bingo, thank you, God, I should trust you more. My God, here I was now. I could actually work with the people I wanted to work with. And then again, like that explosion, I thought, oh no, where do I swim to? I've never done this before. I just have a script and a director and smoke a fag and do a show. Now I had to work with, they say ordinary people, but definitely they're not. So I asked Jeffrey, where do I start? And he said, at the beginning. And so I started every process at the beginning. And it was one question. Tell me about your childhood. And the synapses went off in their brains as they made all these connections to their childhood, to their current life. And I would use that, and I'll go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper as I triggered off more questions. And layer after layer, memory after memory, skin after skin, we went down into the deep, dark place that is guttural and bloody and ugly. That place where we all keep that one or two or three hidden stories that is submerged under layers and layers and layers of facade. We all have it, that facade. That one story we go, no, I don't want to talk about that one. It's too painful. We have it. Let's not kid ourselves. But they were beautiful stories. They were bold and they were brave. And these are some of our participants over the 2 years of Open Homes. And they were stories of love. They were stories of war. They were stories of a father's undying love for his son, immigration, a gay woman coming out about her sexuality to her parents, my favorite story, a woman's undying love for her pet rabbit, Ollie, that she had to let go of, a woman who has a cancer scare and then awakens and walks into truth. Something amazing was happening in these living rooms. Real people were telling ordinary stories in extraordinary ways. Audiences got to listen to these extraordinary stories. A symbiosis was emerging and happening, and a healing. And I knew I needed this for my own work. And so I decided with Pink Gaja Theatre, I was going to put my mother on stage one day. I had no idea how, but I knew my mother has a compelling story, and I wanted to tell it, even if she's a non-performer. And then bingo, God again, I like you, comes into my life in the form of the M1 Fringe Festival. And the M1 Fringe Festival in 2017 approached Pink Gaja Theatre and asked us if we wanted to put up a new piece of work. And I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to do that if you put my mother on stage. And they said, yeah, sure, we'll do that. And so I put my mother, Junta Anwari, through a rigorous 6-month acting training, physical routine, and 1 year devising her story together. And that, the product of that was Hyatt. And Hyatt is a 50-minute movement ritual text performance piece based on her life about a 66-year-old woman that is dealing with her aging body, that has just lost her 92-year-old mother and has a desire to walk with God. And what Ajunta said to me after the whole process was, this whole experience has given me a new lease of life to see the greatness that I thought was never there. And this greatness was a bravery to tell my story, no matter how painful it was. And every night after Hyatt, there will be 1 or 2 women and men that will come out of that dark theater like now, and they would say, I have a story too, and it's painful. And I really want to share it. But how? Pengaja has a magic lab which is dedicated to performers to experiment, but I've opened up a space for non-performers to tell their stories, crafted with professional artists. And one of the residents in our lab is a woman called Sophia Town, who's my financial life coach, planner, safety line. This is her on the screen next. And she's going to tell her story with us in 2019 about a moment in her life where she battled cancer and she won it. She's over here. This is Sophia. She's And my mother, as a result of this whole process, has set up her own storytelling workshops where she aims at women her age to come out, tell their stories, heal, and share it in intimate settings. This whole journey for me has really made me realize that there is a symbiosis between art and humanity. And we're all like molecules, all of us. We're colliding with love and pain and anger, and we all have our stories to share with each other. And even though your story, you feel that really painful one, may belittle you, you have no idea maybe the potential of that story to help an audience member. There's so many stories in this world. We've been telling stories, the human beings, since language was created. But sometimes I can't help but feel that it's quite a lonely place. I don't know why. But I feel that same conviction that 11-year-old girl felt in drama class. I'm so convicted. I have so much conviction that theater, telling your story and sharing it can empower someone else. And if you own your story, and you own your journey, and you own your pain, and you own your anger, and you own your love, and you own your first kiss experience, you become the atom that triggers off another atom, that triggers off another atom, that triggers off another atom, that can empower someone else's life. Because through you, all of you, you become the bridge. Stories are the bridge of the mind and the heart. You become the bridge to connect, to tie together communities, people to come together to learn about each other, share about each other's journeys. But the most important of all, when you empower yourself, you come together to heal. But not only heal, you come together to touch the life of another human being. And the day that you die, because we're all going to die, when you look at your life in a series of moments, I hope you can say, I have touched the life of another human being, because that's all that matters. Imagine